What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight. Alright, we're coming back to The Warning. Yes, indeed, The Warning. Fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. This is a request from, there's quite a few people here. Mad Dog Jones, Phil C., Thomas Maltesta, Dave Marks, 16 Plug 7, Terry Lacey, Dive Down 25, Roberto R, Marmelo 01, and Dan W. They all wanted to see me react to this song by The Warning. Well, it's not actually a Warning song though, it's actually a cover. The Warning are doing a live cover of the Muse song called Hysteria. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I've never heard this song before. I've never even heard the original, as far as I know. So, I'm going to be listening to the song for the first time as a cover, which should be pretty interesting. Now, there is a chance I may have heard this song before and I just don't realize it. So, as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Speaking of honesty, I gotta be straight with everybody here. This song was down in the thousands. Like, it was down at like the 1,000. It wasn't like very high up. It was really low in the thousands. It was like 1,030 or like 1,020 or something like that. It was down on the list of the queue. However, one of these individuals decided to get this request up in the queue all the way to number 1 by joining the silver tier on the Patreon page. So I won't say who, because the individual specifically asked me not to reveal their name, and I said no problem. I won't say who it was, because I still mentioned your name as one of the requesters, and the individual said yes, absolutely. So this individual does not want you to know who it was as far as who joined. So that's, hey, look, it's your request, man. If that's what you want, I got no problem with it. But yeah, this was a prioritized request for being a silver tier member. So there you go. All the way to the top at number 1. This was posted by The Warning, and the video has 442,124 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? You ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Hysteria, Muse cover, The Warning at, oh, how do you pronounce this again? It was Lycio? No, it was Licio. Licio. I believe it was Licio, that's how you pronounce it. It's their school that they went to when they were kids. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
it's hard for me to compare a cover song with an original when I have never heard the original. So I can't really make any comparisons. I will say, from what I'm hearing so far, it sounds really good. It sounds really good. If I didn't know this was a cover, I would swear maybe this is an original. So, drumming is solid. Guitar playing is solid. Everybody was telling me, you got to check out her bass line. You got to listen to Ale play the bass line. And I heard it. I did hear it. It's impressive. It is impressive. It sounds good. If I'm being 100% honest here, and you know me, I am going to be honest. Let's be honest here. It was a little dirty, okay? I don't know why she did the whole flipping over, playing with the hand over the top as opposed to sticking under. Maybe that was just for showmanship. I don't know, but it seemed to me like when she did go over the top, it did get a little muddy. It did get a little dirty. When she went under and when she went back to standard playing, it sounded fine. But every time she would go over the top, it just sounded like it started to drag a little bit, and it sounded a little off. Just a little. Not a lot. It wasn't, not to the point where it sounded bad. It was noticeable. That's all. But even still, that bass line sounds pretty, it sounds pretty complicated. It sounds like something I actually would like to give a shot at. I wouldn't mind, getting the sheet music for it and giving it a shot if I could. I'd see if I could find it. But I don't know. We'll see. But overall presentation so far sounds pretty good. Let's keep going here. Together. That unison line was not solid. I want to hear it again. Maybe my ears were playing tricks on me, but it did not. That unison line did not sound good. Right at the end, they got together. That's better. That time was a lot better. That unison line was a lot better that time. Okay. I got some thoughts. Hopefully the Warning Army fans that know me will be merciful with me, but I got some constructive criticism to give them, for sure. But I'll see you in the review. Well, there you go, folks. That was The Warning with their rendition of the Muse song Hysteria. This was a request from Mad Dog Jones, Phil C., Thomas Maltesta, Dave Marks, 16 Pluke 7, Terry Lacey, Dive Down 25, Roberto R., Marmelo 01, and Dan W. And this was a prioritized request for one of these individuals being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. I won't say which one it was. They asked me not to, so I won't say which one it was. Now, before I give the score, I would just like to reiterate this one fact, okay? I've never heard the song before, not even in its original form. It's in the queue. I don't know where in the queue it is. It's coming up here pretty soon here. Hold on, let me just check really quick. Let's see, how far down the queue? It's not that far. Let's see, it's about, so it's sitting right now at about 64, 65, something like that. So it's not too far away. So I kind of wish I'd been able to listen to the original first. I kind of do, but, you know, it is what it is. Having said that, it's going to be very hard for me to make a comparison to how they played it compared to how the original played it. I'm going to do my best to try and, for lack of a better word, guess. So bear with me. I may be completely wrong in my scoring here. I might be, but I don't feel like I am. I feel like the score I'm going to give her is actually pretty accurate. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give that an 8.2. Yep, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Again, I've never heard the original, so I don't know how accurate they were compared to the original. I can only go on what I've heard. And what I heard was this. I heard these young girls tackle a song that, on a technical level, it's not the easiest song to play. And if I'm being honest with you, it doesn't sound like it's that easy. The bass line is deceiving. I was really focusing on the bass line. Being a bass player, I was really focusing on what the bass line is. Now, here's what I heard. I heard the exact same riff shifting from string to string. So she started in A, doing this riff, and the riff started really impressive. On the next measure, she goes down to E. But here's the thing. She goes down to E, but it's the exact same pattern. It's the exact same riff. Then when she goes up to D, the same thing happens. It's the exact same pattern. And then it goes down to A again, playing the exact same pattern. So the pattern never changes. So here's my point. And this is why I'm saying it sounds like it's deceivingly hard. It actually is, from the sound of it, it's really not going to be that tough to learn. All you have to do is learn the pattern. Once you learn the pattern of where your fingers go, on what fret, on what beat, after you get that, switching between the strings is easy. That's simple, okay? It's not that difficult. Learning the pattern is going to be a challenge. I'll bet I'm going to have to find the sheet music. I want to learn it. I'll bet I'll probably get it probably in about half an hour, 45 minutes maybe. I'll probably have it down. But it doesn't sound that difficult. It really doesn't. It doesn't sound like it's that difficult. It's all based on open and octave, and then with a descending line. You know, I played a lot of songs like that. Having said that, I believe she was 10 at the time of doing this video. To see a 10-year-old girl come out and do it, that's saying something. It is. It is saying something for a 10-year-old to go out there and do it. Now, like I said, there were a couple spots where it sounded a little rushed, like when she went over the top. Now, again, I don't understand why she went over the top, because when I watched her do it throughout the rest of the song, she didn't go over the top. She played the exact same lines under, like in standard playing. So why she went over the top, I don't know. My guess, it was to show off. It was to have showmanship. And I applaud her for having the guts to do that at age 10. I know adults who won't even go over the top like that and play over the top. because they're scared that they're going to mess up. So I give her all the credit in the world for having the courage to try. So God bless her for that. And I will say about 90% of what she did sounded clean. It sounded really good. When she went over the top, there were a couple places where she started to fall behind a little bit. It's hard to drag behind the drums. Was it bad? It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. And she, like I said, she got most of it. You know, just like I said, when she went over the top, started to drag a little bit. That was it. Other than that, it sounded really good. It sounded clean. It sounded like she was locked in with the drummer for the rest of the song. She was locked in with Pal, so good for her. Pal's drumming on this sounded solid. I didn't hear any issues in her drumming whatsoever. Everything sounded right. Everything sounded on time. Everything sounded placed correctly. Everything made sense. So I have absolutely no criticisms of Pal whatsoever. Nothing but praise. Now, Danny. I will say this about Danny. Her vocals on this sounded really good. Like she was really projecting her inner Muse with her vocals, no pun intended. No, but she was really emulating the lead singer from Muse really well. She got a really good, that ghostly, kind of haunting type of voice in that falsetto that he does. She did a really good job of emulating it. I'll give her all the credit for that. And her guitar playing was really tight. It sounded really good. Really fitting what was going on with the drummer and with the bass. Now, there was that one unison part before the guitar solo. They did, I think it was 4 bars of unison line. It was pretty dirty. If I'm being honest here, it was pretty dirty. The first 3 measures, it's like they were trying to find it. They're like, okay, it started out here, and as they went, it got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and finally by the last measure, boom, they locked in. It was like, okay, here we are, last measure, let's get it. And they did. So at least they ended that phrase locked in, which was good. Up to that point, though, they were trying to find each other. Now, I will say, though, they did the exact same thing at the end of the song, and that was locked in. That was locked in tight. That was fantastic. They nailed the last one from what I could hear. So kudos to them for making a strong comeback on it. So this is why it's getting the 8.2. They did a great job, okay? Pal was fantastic on the drums, no question. Danny's guitar playing was great. Her vocals were great. I loved everything that she did. I kind of struggled a little bit with this, and some of the struggle was she put on herself, you know, by doing the overhand. Now, like I said, I give her all the credit in the world for having the courage to go overhand, because I know there's a lot of adults that won't even try because they're scared of failing. And that's their loss, you know? I love going overhand like that, but here's the thing. I'll go overhand if I know for a fact I'm going to be able to nail it, you know, exactly the way it should be nailed. If I'm not sure, I won't do it. You know, I just won't. I would rather get, you know, the part right and not sound muddy. You know, not the expense of showmanship. Don't get me wrong, I love showmanship, but the song does have to come first, you know? So, you know, I give her credit for trying. I give her all the credit in the world for having the courage to give it a shot. And she did a really good job. Like I said, there were a couple spots where it dragged. Okay, that's why it's not going up into the greats for her for that. It was really good. There are a couple places where it got dirty, a couple places where it dragged. And then there was that middle section, like I said, that they just weren't locked in. You know, they locked in at the last measure, so they saved it. So this is why it's getting the 8.2. Now, before I end this out, I just need to reiterate, what is an 8.2? An 8.2, when you add it all up together, is actually a great score, okay? 8.0 is the bottom threshold for great. So an 8.2 is still a great job. It's low on the grade score, but nonetheless, it is still a great score. So I don't want anybody coming at me going, you gave them a terrible score and that you were super mean to them and blah, blah, blah. No, I wasn't. I was being objective. This is being objective. I was able to see the good things they did, but I was also able to point out the things that they didn't do well. So, but altogether, when you add it up, the good far exceeded the not so good. So that's why they're getting the 8.2. So, 8.2, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show and you like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It'll do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.